Lena Hayes never expected her marriage to end with her standing alone in the cold hallway of a mansion she once called home. She had walked into the Wrighton estate as a hopeful young wife, gentle, patient, and quietly strong. But the halls that once carried laughter and warmth had turned into echo chambers of judgment, whispers, and unspoken resentment. And now, 6 months pregnant, she felt every ounce of that weight pressing down on her. Her mother-in-law, Veronica Wrighton, had always been a woman who ran her world like a flawless performance. Every hair in place, every smile calculated, every rule set for one purpose: control. She never approved of Lena, not because Lena had done anything wrong, but because Lena was too soft, too kind, too unassuming for a family obsessed with image. And when Lena became pregnant, the family's discomfort turned into a mission. One afternoon, as snow fell softly outside the tall windows, Veronica walked into Lena's room with a folder in her hand and a cold look in her eyes. "Lena," she said in a tone too formal for a daughter-in-law, "we need to talk about your situation." Lena's hands instinctively touched her belly. "What situation?" Veronica closed the door quietly. "You and the baby. This house is under enough pressure. We can't have more complications." "Complications?" Lena whispered. "I'm carrying your grandchild." "Exactly," Veronica replied. "A child who deserves a certain standard, one we're not convinced you can provide." Lena's throat tightened. "I live here with Evan." Veronica sighed as if this were an inconvenience. "Evan will support the child, but you, Lena, you've become a liability." Lena froze. "What do you mean?" "You need to leave the mansion, today." The room spun. "You're throwing out a pregnant woman?" "We're giving you time to figure out your life," Veronica said calmly, "without dragging this family down." Footsteps appeared behind her. Evan, Lena's husband, stepped inside. His face was pale, his eyes heavy. "Evan," Lena whispered, "say something." His jaw clenched. "Mom thinks it's best." "Do you?" she asked, voice shaking. "Do you really think your pregnant wife should be thrown out?" Evan looked away. "This house is complicated right now. We need space." Lena felt her heart fracture. "You're choosing them over me, over our baby." "It's not forever," he muttered, "just until things calm down." Lena wiped a tear, her body trembling. "Things? Or your mother?" Evan didn't answer. Veronica stepped forward. "Pack your things. We'll send you financial support until the baby comes." Lena stared at the two people she had tried so hard to love. "You think money makes this less cruel?" "We're being generous," Veronica said. "Most families wouldn't be." Lena's voice cracked. "Most families wouldn't treat a pregnant woman like this." But it didn't matter. The Wrightons had already decided. 2 house staff members were instructed to escort her out with a single suitcase. The mansion door shut behind her as snow continued to fall. She stood on the front steps, cold air biting her skin, one hand on her stomach as tears gathered in her eyes. She had nowhere to go. No car, no help. No one in this town even knew her real last name. She whispered to the baby inside her, voice breaking, "I'm so sorry." She began walking down the long driveway, snow crunching beneath her boots. Her breath formed clouds in the freezing air. She didn't know where she was going. She only knew she had to get away from the coldness of that house. And then her phone buzzed. A name flashed on the screen, Aiden Hayes, her older brother. Lena hesitated only a second before answering. "Lena?" His voice was sharp with worry. I had a bad feeling. What happened? Her breath hitched. They threw me out. Silence, then a tone she rarely heard from him, pure, controlled rage. Where are you? Walking, she whispered. Down the hill, Stay where you are, Aiden ordered. I'm coming myself. Don't move. She tried to respond, but emotion swallowed her voice. She sank onto a bench near the estate's gate, cradling her belly as the cold wind wrapped around her. At that same moment, 20 miles away, Aiden Hayes, CEO of Hayes Global Holdings, stood from his boardroom chair, sending the room into stunned silence. Emergency recess, he growled. My sister needs me. Nobody questioned him. Nobody dared. The Hayes family wasn't the kind of billionaire dynasty that flaunted its wealth. They controlled it. Quietly, strategically, powerfully. They didn't feed tabloids, didn't chase cameras. And that made them far more dangerous than the Wrightons ever knew. Within 20 minutes, 3 black SUVs pulled up in front of Lena. Aiden stepped out, coat still on from the rush, eyes dark with fury. When he saw her sitting in the snow, his expression broke for half a second. He rushed forward, pulling off his coat and wrapping it around her shoulders. Lena, he breathed, kneeling in front of her. Are you hurt? Did they lay a hand on you? She shook her head weakly. No, just thrown out. Aiden exhaled through his teeth. Get in the car. You're done with these people. Forever. As the SUV door closed behind her, Lena finally felt warmth again. Aiden sat beside her and held her hand gently. You should have told us they were treating you this way, he said softly. I didn't want to cause trouble, she whispered. You are family, Aiden said, and family protects each other. The Hayes household welcomed her back with open arms. Their estate was 3 times the size of the Wrightons, but it felt warm, safe, filled with people who cared. Her mother wept when she saw her daughter's tear-stained face. Her younger sister wrapped her arms around Lena gently, careful of her baby bump, and the Hayes security team immediately began gathering information. Aiden didn't wait a full day. By morning, the Hayes legal team had filed immediate protective orders. By noon, the Wrighton financial holdings were destabilizing. By afternoon, every ally the Wrightons relied on received calls from the Hayes network, quiet, powerful, unmistakable calls. Then Aiden arranged a meeting, one the Wrightons were too terrified to refuse. The Wrighton mansion, once a symbol of power, now looked small when the Hayes SUVs lined the driveway. Veronica and Evan waited nervously in the grand foyer as Lena walked in, head held high, surrounded by the full strength of her family. Veronica attempted a smile. Lena, dear. Save it, Aiden cut in coldly. Evan stepped toward Lena. I didn't want this, You let it happen, Lena said quietly, and that's enough. Aiden nodded to his security. They opened a document folder. Veronica frowned. What is this? Your apology, Aiden said. On your knees. The room went silent, heavy, suffocating. We will not, Veronica began. But Aiden stepped closer, his expression calm and deadly. You forced a pregnant woman out into the cold. My pregnant sister. You will kneel, or your entire family will spend the next decade learning what it feels like to lose everything. Evan swallowed hard and sank to his knees first. Harper followed, and finally, trembling, Veronica Wrighton knelt on the floor of her own mansion. Lena's eyes filled not with pain, but with closure. You didn't have to know who I was, she said softly. But you should have known how to treat me. The Wrightons lowered their heads. The Hayes family stood tall behind her. The room stayed silent as the Wrightons kneeled, their pride crumbling under the weight of their actions. Lena felt her heartbeat steady, her hand resting on her belly, as if reassuring the child growing within her that they were finally safe. Aiden placed a gentle hand on her shoulder. "Say what you need to say," he whispered. Lena took a small step forward. Evan looked up, guilt tightening his face. "Lena, I'm sorry. I was weak. I let them push me. I didn't protect you." She looked at him with a calmness she didn't know she possessed. "I wasn't asking you to be perfect, Evan. I was asking you to be a husband." His eyes broke. "Can I still be in the baby's life?" She took a breath. "If you want to be a father, you can, but this," she gestured to the mansion, to the kneeling figures, "is over." Evan nodded slowly, tears falling. "I understand," Veronica's voice cracked. We were wrong." Lena didn't answer her, not with anger, not with bitterness. "Treat people better," she said softly. "That's all." Aiden stepped forward. Then, businesslike again, "We're done here, let's go." The Hayes family escorted Lena out of the mansion. As she stepped into the cold air, the world felt different, lighter, safer, hers again. Her mother wrapped a warm coat around her. Her sister carried her bag. Aiden walked beside her like a wall of steel and love. When they reached the SUV, Aiden opened the door. "Ready to come home for good?" Lena looked at her family, her real family, and smiled. "Yes," she whispered. "Home is where we were always supposed to be." The car pulled away from the mansion, leaving the Wrightons behind in the ruin of their own choices. Lena placed her hand over her belly and whispered to her child, "You will grow up surrounded by love. No one will ever throw us out again." And as the sun rose over the Hayes estate, a new chapter opened, one built on strength, family, and the quiet power of a woman who finally remembered who she was.